Central Bank of Nigeria has approved the merger of Providus Bank and Unity Bank. The Apex Bank, in a statement signed by Acting Director of Corporate Communications Hakama Sidi, said the action is in accordance with the provisions of Section 42, subsection 2 of the CBN Act 2007. The development signals the first merger to be approved following the mandate by the Apex Bank to increase its minimum capital base. Arise Business Analyst Chika Mbonu joins us to discuss. Chika, good morning to you. Thank you so much.
Good to see you today.
Fine, thank you, sir. What do you mean? You broke this story. Actually, I found out from you when the statement, you sent it to me yesterday. I was like, we have to talk about this.
As we move towards the deadline for the capitalization of banks, about 18 months away, the Central Bank of Nigeria is looking through its spread and trying to resolve some banks they believe that may have issues, breasting the tap. And because of the fact that if they don't do that and there are issues with one or two banks that don't make it, it can cause what they call systemic failure.
Yeah.
And affect the whole enterprise. You can take off run on even the healthy banks because people will lose confidence. When banks are in distress, the Central Bank of Nigeria has several options to resolve the distress, and which some of them they have exercised in Nigeria, from as simple as changing the management team of the bank and putting a new one, to the extreme side of liquidating the bank, which they did recently with Unity, with Heritage Bank.
Yep.
In between, they have done things like purchase and assumption, where a bank buys off some other assets of the bank, a new bank buys off the assets of the old bank and then moves on. Or bridge bank, if the federal government is solid, they'll pour in money there to bridge the bank, let it be running. In doing all this every time, the option chosen depends on the state of the bank, the current state of the bank, and then what is the best for the greater good, especially the depositors of the bank. Those are the major considerations always, what's best for the financial system. But so let me dispense with this quickly because a lot of people have been asking me. Because remember I mentioned the options. So why did they rush to go and liquidate Heritage Bank?
Dr. Mati asked that question this morning.
Remember I thought about the simple as changing management of the bank to the liquidation of bank, depending on what the current state of the bank is. Heritage Bank was a bad case, very bad case. The whole was about 1.3 trillion.
Wow.
1.3 trillion.
My goodness.
One of the conditions, again, for the options of the liquidation resolution chosen is the availability of a worthy suitor willing to take on that bank. Heritage Bank didn't have any worthy suitor. And again, in the last 2 weeks of the life of Heritage Bank, they were actually clogging up the clearing system because each day the clearing system must balance. And if it doesn't balance, what happens is that the Central Bank takes the debit. So every day, Central Bank was actually salvaging the clearing system because of the fact that Heritage Bank couldn't clear that. So I just thought I should clear that so that people will understand that it's not anything. It's just because that was a bad case. And it's stage 5 cancer or stage 4 cancer, the case may be. Now, so what we have on the table, Providus. Providus, a new generation bank, well-run, standard BRF for digital banking in the industry. 23 branches at the last count, as I saw. Standard branch and branch buildings, very clean brand. Last financials, December 23, showed total asset of 1.83 trillion. And profit before tax of 45 billion, and equity of 100 billion. And there are two things I'm going to mention here. The NPL, non-performing loan ratio, is about 2.5%.
Okay.
Cost to income ratio, I'll tell you why this is important at the end, is 54%. But this bank is hungry for growth.
Okay.
They're hungry for growth.
Why are they calling it a merger?
I'm coming with it. They're hungry for growth.
Okay.
They want a proportion kind of growth. Then you have Unity Bank.
Hey.
You have Unity Bank.
Yeah, I'm reading for the numbers.
18 years in the system. Strong in agriculture. 220 branches around the country. 220 branches. Last audit account was 2022.
Right.
And then also profit of 941 billion. Remember, 941 million.
Right.
Compared to profits of 42 billion. And then total asset is 510 billion. Almost one third, just one third, less than one third of Providus. Total equity, now that's where the issues. Negative about 275 billion.
And they've been carrying that for a
long
while.
time. Now, with this race of capitalization, Unity is going to be in trouble.
Of course.
So they require a lifeline or lifesaver. And that's where this business combination becomes better. So you have a suitor, Providus, and you have a bride, Unity.
I need you to do marriage analysis here.
But that's where the daddy central bank comes into play. How would this marriage take place?
The pastor of the marriage.
How would this marriage take place? The daddy actually, not the real pastor.
The daddy, okay, yes, daddy.
How would this marriage take place?
Yeah.
How would the combination take place? I don't want to call it marriage, I want to call it more combination than that. And that's where the combination. See, from the area of the country I come from, I don't know, the feminists should not attack me in this. Whenever you're getting married, you know, the fathers of the bride normally give you a long list of things.
I hear yours is the most expensive in Nigeria.
Yeah. Now listen to these rotos.
Yeah.
You know that maybe that's why you're not married yet. You can't
afford the list.
You can't afford the list. So normally when the daughter is in prime, the list is very long.
University educated.
Yeah, very, very long. Yeah. But when the daughter starts, you know, hovering to the early higher 30s, and then for it, the daddy, in this case CBN, he's no longer in the right, you know, he's trying to encourage suitors to come in and take the daughter away.
It's a perfect analogy.
And I have known in some instances where daddies have actually funded the wedding, you know. So I'm saying this now because of the CBN needed to support this marriage to take place.
Fantastic.
And that's why the next things I'm going to talk about happened. Yeah. So CBN comes in as a daddy, you know, oh, Heritage, you found, Unity. Providus and Unity back come to me, want to get married, want to combine. Yeah, but Providus says that there are some things that need to happen. So CBN said, no, don't worry. I'll make life easier for you.
Right.
So the person who has some baggage is Unity Bank.
Right.
So about 700 billion they are giving 700 billion financial line, accommodation, 20-year loan.
Yes.
Interest rate at MPR minus 11. Currently, it's about 15.75.
Okay.
But it can never be below 6%.
Right.
5-year moratorium. You know, fantastic distance for the new entity.
Right.
But now, the other thing happened that Unity Bank obligation to CBN and Allied is about 303 billion. First Bank 92 billion. CBN 51 point. Anchor borrowers 9 sal. So from that 700 billion,
you will back out.
They are back out that.
Right.
The remaining balance of 300 and something billion, almost 400 billion.
Yeah.
We invested in 20-year bond and count as Tier 2 capital for the new enterprise.
Wow, this is well structured.
And then Unity Bank also, just as a generous daddy who wants the daughter to get married, you know, Unity Bank's CRR deficit of 1.8 billion is also waived.
Wow.
Waived.
Okay.
So Providus CRR will.
So the marriage can start off on financially stable footing.
You know, maybe you know how the father can even buy a house or pay the rent.
Yes.
So CBN is saying, I want to encourage this thing to happen. Yeah. You know, somebody had taken off my daughter that is on the shelf for a long time. So I mean that. So beautiful deal, Rotus, for everybody. Yeah. For CBN, systemic stability crises are avoided. The business funds are protected. You know, unlike those who are crying in Unity Bank now, you know, those who have deposits above 5 million and above, they're not sure they're going to get anything yet. Right. So even though appealing to NDS to help, so that's CBN. So systemic stability, you know, protected. Providus, their growth phase is, you know, protected. Yeah. They get admission 200 and something branches, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And then, you know, other things they would need to play. Unity Bank customers, they're happy. You know, reach side relief.
Right.
We won't lose our money.
Right.
I mean, our car has been parked somewhere in this new enterprise, and the financial system is also protected. So for everybody, it's actually a win-win. Okay. You know, a good deal. And what do I see for free? Let me give it to them for free. What are the issues, challenges that may come for the system, for them? The first thing is the issue of culture and integration.
Okay. Very important.
A bank, 18 years old, 220 branches. Legacy bank in the northern part of the country, strong in agriculture. You know, higher staff strength, 20 branches. And then Providus, young, enterprising, coming to, you know, come together. Now, there's a saying that when they're doing things like this kind of combination, that culture is strategy for breakfast.
Right.
The same, somebody businessman said it. Culture is strategy for breakfast. He says no matter how strong your strategy is, if you don't get the structural culture right, it won't work. So this is going to be a major challenge there.
Yeah.
Of course, integration in IT, integration in people, integration in corporate governance structure.
You talk about that a lot.
The corporate governance structure in the board of Unity Bank here too. I made of the who and who. I don't want to mention the names in Nigeria.
Right.
And so going to be
to mix all that together.
It'll be difficult. So people, corporate governance, shareholders, board of directors.
Yeah.
And the other thing for Providus is a small child that is walking straight, Lotus, and he carry 5 bags of cement and put on his head, may collapse. So they need to watch out for that. MPLS is very low, 2.5. Cost income ratio 50%. 220 branches. I'm not sure. Maybe half of them not profitable.
Gotcha.
So Providus is adding on a lot of new things.
Well, Chika, we have you. We'll monitor them. We'll monitor how things go here for. We have you to do that. So, Arise Business Analyst Chika Mbonu, and help me get a discount for your people's bright price. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your insight.